Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming here today. And also thank you for the patience you showed yesterday when we were forced to postpone this press conference until today. I would like to introduce Detective Chief Inspector Phil Jones. Phil is the Senior Investigating Officer in this investigation. He will read out a short statement providing an update, and then there will be 5 minutes to serve questions. Phil.
Thank you. Good morning. The investigation into the death of 25-year-old Joanna Yates is now a murder investigation, and I am leading that murder investigation. As you know, the post-mortem examination has taken longer than usual because of the frozen condition of her body. The pathologist completed his examination last night and concluded that the cause of her death was compression of the neck, in other words, strangulation. As a result of the findings of the post-mortem, we believe that Joanna's body has been in the roadside verge off Longwood Lane, Fayland, for several days before being discovered on Christmas morning. I am keen to hear from anybody who saw or heard anything or anyone acting suspiciously in the Longwood Lane area, particularly the area near to the entrance of Durnford Quarry over the last week, but in particular the weekend of Friday, December the 17th to Sunday, the 19th of December. This was the weekend when we experienced heavy snow in the area. However small or insignificant you think your information might be, please come forward and speak to us. Please don't assume we may already have been told the information that you have. We would rather be told the same piece of information several times over than not be told it at all. Today we are continuing our meticulous search of the area in which Joanna was found, in order to make sure we capture any potential evidence that may be there. There are a number of other lines of inquiry that we are pursuing. One of these is inevitably going to be how Joanna got from her home in Clifton to Longwood Lane, which is about 3 miles away. This means that we'll be looking at any possible routes that could have been taken to get to and from that location. This includes reviewing relevant CCTV footage from cameras on the Clifton Suspension Bridge, which is an obvious link between the locations. However, this is just one of a number of routes that could have been taken, and we need to make sure we cover every possibility. Another line of inquiry we are following up concerns the night of her disappearance. We know that she had been in the Bristol Ram pub on Park Street with work colleagues. We know that she left the pub at 8 p.m. on Friday, December the 17th, and on her way home stopped off at Waitrose on the Clifton Triangle. We also know that she went to the Bargain Booze shop and a Tesco Express store in Regent Street, Clifton, where she bought a pizza, leaving that store at about 8:30 p.m. We believe she then returned to her ground floor flat in Canish Road, Clifton, because her keys, purse and bank cards were still there, together with a receipt from the Tesco store. At the time she would have arrived home, which would have been approximately 8:45 p.m, there were other pedestrians and vehicles in Canish Road at that time, and we would like anybody in the area of Canish Road to please come forward. I met Joanna's family yesterday, and we have informed them of all the very latest developments and findings. I do, of course, offer them my heartfelt condolences at this tragic time. As you know, they were in the Bristol area yesterday when they formally identified their daughter's body and also visited the scene where she was found. Somebody out there does know what happened to Joanna. Somebody out there is holding that vital piece of information we need to help provide Joanna's family with the answers they need and they want. We know some of her last movements on Friday, December the 17th. We know where and when she was found. We know how she died. What we have to do next is to find out why she was killed and who was responsible. I have a large team of police officers and staff who have been working tirelessly to help find the answers to those questions. I would urge anyone listening to me today who has any information whatsoever to please come forward and speak to us. They can call the Operation Braid Incident Room on 0845 456 7000 or the independent charity Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. Thank you.
Okay, we now have time for some questions. If you do want to ask a question, could I ask you to put your hand up? When I point to you, could you introduce yourself and tell us which agency you are representing? Should we start off with the gentleman at the back of the group?
Yeah, Neil Sice from the Sun. Had Joanna eaten the pizza or not?
Still maintaining an open mind on that. There is a number of forensic inquiries which are still ongoing, so I'm unable to confirm that at this stage.
Alison Moss, BBC News. Do you believe that Joanna was held somewhere before she was killed?
Again, it's the very early stages of the investigation. There are a number of lines of inquiry which we're pursuing to establish that, and again, I'm keeping an open mind as to whether that's the case.
Do you think she was killed at the spot where her body was found?
Like I said, early stages of the investigation, and through our forensic examination and lines of inquiry, that's what we're trying to ascertain.
Gentleman.
Mark Stone from Sky News. Have you got any suspects in mind? Are you pursuing any particular routes?
As I said, I'm currently maintaining an open mind. There are a number of lines of inquiry which we're pursuing, and at this stage I'm not prepared to speculate as to whether there are any suspects or what those lines of inquiry might be.
Can I have a follow-on from that? Just wondering whether whether anything unexpected came out of the post-mortem other than, the cause of death.
No, I think as I said earlier, the reason why there was a delay with the post-mortem was due to the fact that, as I said, we believe the body had been in situ for a number of days. We've had extreme weather conditions and the body was frozen. So there was no other reason other than that.
In the white shirt.
Ryan Parry, Daily Mirror. Were there any indications at all at the flat that there was anyone there other than Joanna? Any signs of a struggle or an intruder or?
Yeah, again, that is an aspect of the investigation that we're still pursuing in terms of our forensic examination of that scene, and we're trying to identify and develop whether that was the case. But again, I'm keeping an open mind as to whether there was a struggle there or not.
Caroline Gowland from the Daily Telegraph. Was there any other sign of injury or any marks on Joanna's body aside from around the neck?
Not as significant. As I said, the cause of death was a compression to the neck, which was strangulation, and that was the cause of death.
No marks on hands or anything?
Well, nothing's significant.
Richard Sowell from the Daily Telegraph. Was there anything about the state of the flat that alerted you to the possibility immediately that she had been abducted, as her father indicated in
we were notified by the boyfriend, basically on his return from his weekend away, and she was reported as a missing person. We've forensically examined that scene, and as I said earlier, obviously we're interpreting from that forensic examination exactly the sequence of events of what happened there.
Are you seeing any warning?
Lady in the black.
Sejal Kari from ITV News. Is Greg Reardon a suspect?
No, he's a witness in this investigation.
Nigel Downday, BBC Radio Bristol. Was any attempt made to hide Joanna's body? Locals are saying if it had been there for a long time, they would have seen it.
Well, what you've got to appreciate, it was, as I said, there was heavy snow that weekend, and there's large accumulations of snow. But at this stage, we're not prepared to discuss, the forensic examination of the scene itself.
Tom Morris, Bristol Evening Post. Is there anything on a mobile phone or laptop that's giving you any leads?
That forensic examination is still ongoing.
Steve Morris from The Guardian. Any signs of any sexual assault?
At this stage, we're still keeping an open mind with regards to that.
Just right at the back.
Was there any implement used, i.e. a ligature, or do you believe it was by hand that the cause of death?
The pathologist has said that at this stage the cause of death is a compression to the neck, strangulation.
Ryan Parry, Daily Mirror. Was Joanna fully clothed when she was found?
She was clothed, yes.
She was clothed. Was there anything missing from her person? Items of clothing at all, like a shoe or?
She was fully clothed. So.
Can I just check that we heard her coat was in the same coat she was photographed or caught on CCTV was in the flat?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And did she have a coat on when she was found?
Well, as I said, she was fully clothed.
You can't say whether she had a coat on or not.
Well, I'm not prepared to discuss that at this stage.
Ryan Keishel, Daily Mail. Have you heard from any other women who have had been approached by strange men in the Clifton area or in the recent months that haven't come forward before?
Well, there are a number of lines of inquiry which we're following, and we've had a number of telephone calls as a result of publicity from this investigation, and we're pursuing them. And if we receive any calls of that nature, then obviously we are pursuing them and speaking to those people.
Okay, we've got time for 2 more questions. The gentleman in the white
Tom
shirt.
Morris, Bristol Evening Post. Is there a suggestion this could be related to any other missing person or murder inquiry?
Again, there are a number of lines of inquiry I'm pursuing. I'm keeping an open mind on that as to whether there is any link to any other offences, but that is something that I would consider with any investigation.
The final question then, please.
Have you got any suggestion that the person who you think murdered her was known to her or a stranger, or is there no way you can tell at this stage?
Again, they're lines of inquiry which we're pursuing, and I'm keeping an open mind as to whether it was somebody familiar to her, somebody she knew, or whether it was a stranger.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the conference. Naturally, if there are any further updates, then you'll be informed through the usual channels. Thank you very much indeed.